What are you doing? Priorities. Well, good morning.
Morning. Morning.
How's everyone doing today?
Great.
You know, I want to thank you guys for your patience this morning. We're a little short-handed, so we've been playing catch-up all morning. So I know, quite a few of you guys have been waiting in this room for just a couple moments. So I just wanted to say thank you, not only one, for coming in, but also thank you for being patient with us. So my name's Cody Terrell. I'm the MGA here for the Vasu Agency, and I'll be doing the group overview with you guys this morning. We won't be hiring for every single position that's in here, but just as you had the first interview, and so you met with one of the managers, and essentially you guys are in this room because we like you. But this is all about making sure that we are compatible. So right now is a good time for you to figure out that you really like what we do, like our company, and then from there, we can both make an educated decision to see if this is the right place and this is something that we both want to pursue. As I know, quite a few of you don't really have too good of an understanding of what all we do here at the Vasu Agency at American Income, but we will be checking all of those boxes and explaining everything in detail, so whenever you leave here, you'll have a really good understanding. I know you guys have paperwork or a profile in front of you. If you want to just go ahead and set that aside, you'll have time at the end to go ahead and complete everything. Of course, you do have a blank piece of paper on the back if you guys would like to take any notes. So starting off, introducing myself, like I said, Cody Terrell. I'm originally from a small town called McAlester, New Mexico. Has anybody ever heard of it? All right, room full of people, guys. That's how small it is, all right? I'm from middle of nowhere, New Mexico. And I like to go into detail about this part of what brought me to American Income. Now, before coming over here, I was responsible for my family's business and cattle ranch. Now, we made and manufactured vitamins and supplements for livestock feed. Also, taking care of my family's cattle ranch, what I found is I was in my 20s doing very well, making almost $100,000 a year. Now, I don't know if anyone else in this room was affected by the 2008 economic crash, but essentially what I found was doing very well. The economy took a turn, and it affected my family greatly. I found myself unemployed, my family in hard times. I was looking to find a good job, couldn't find one. Was looking to find a job to pay me what I was previously making, couldn't find one, and most importantly, a job to pay me how much I knew that I was worth, and that just wasn't out there either. So I packed up all of my bags and I moved from the small town of McAlester, which I was living in, where I was from, and I decided to chase my dreams and move into the big city. I moved to the big city of Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's not a big city, right? It's actually laughable if you've been there and then you live in Texas now. But I was very confident I would get any job that I applied for. Being college, managerial background, very confident in myself. What I found was, again, the positions that I thought were going to be there just weren't, because the economy was in such a hard time. Now, I actually went to the same interview process which you are currently in right now, sat in your exact same seat, got hired on in 2010. And in 1 year, I went from entry level to being the regional manager of the state of New Mexico. From there, after just over a year, I was promoted from the state of New Mexico down to South Texas, where I was responsible for the South region. Our main office was in San Antonio, had Corpus Christi, Laredo, Brownsville, and did very well. We turned it to an award-winning territory. And just recently, I was asked to switch territories and come up here to the Vasu Agency, which I am now responsible for the Austin territory and greater Austin area. Now, we are part of American Income. American Income is an international life insurance company, and we are the Vasu agency. We are responsible for Houston, Austin, and all of the territory in between. Now, I always ask this, has anyone ever heard of American Income before coming to this office? All right, perfect. The reason why is we don't advertise whatsoever. We have no duck, we have no lizard, we have no commercials, anything else. So if you've never heard of American Income, essentially that's why. We are the only 100% union-based insurance company in the United States. And we are the insurance company that protects the working class families here in the United States. We protect the blue-collar workers. We'll get into detail with all of this. And jumping right in, the reason why that we've called you here today is we've been blessed with a very good problem. Now that problem is we are expanding at a very rapid rate. This office that I love so much, we've outgrown this office, and we are looking for larger office space right now. Our Houston operation just actually almost tripled in size. They went from 7,500 square feet of office space to now over 22,000 square feet of office space. It's so big you could play a game of football inside of that office. So between that office and ourselves, we're growing very rapid. We are looking for individuals that are going to help us with our growth. So I'm sure that the individual you spoke with said we have two main positions which are available. That's going to be entry level and management trainee. So that's what we're hiring for right now to help us with our growth. Essentially, we have more people coming on board right now than we have trainers, leaders, and supervisors to facilitate our growth. And something that we're very proud of is the last 2 years, we've ended the year as the #1 agency within our category. So that's 2016, 2017. No one's ever done a three-peat, so right now we're working hard to try to get that three-peat and stay in the #1 position. So explaining about the company, guys, and exactly who we are. Like I said, American Income is an international insurance company, seeing as we're throughout all 50 states and various countries around the world. Now, we do have an A+ superior rating for financial stability and ability to pay claims. That is the greatest and highest ranking that you can have from a financial company. As it says, the company has a long history here in the state of Texas, seeing as the founder, Mr. Bernard Rappaport, was from San Antonio, Texas. The gentleman started this company with borrowed capital, a loan of only $25,000, and he started the company in 1951. Now, he sold the company in 1994 to Torchmark Corporation. Their headquarters, as it says, is just outside of Dallas in McKinney, Texas. And our headquarters for American Income is just up the road in Waco, Texas. Now, I love that there's a long history here in Texas. You know, Texas pride. We're actually the largest agency, not only in Texas, but in the South. So we're doing, we're making the company very proud with our efforts and our hard work here. Now, like it says, international, we are through the District of Columbia, Canada, New Zealand. And moving on, talking about growth. Now, whenever I sat in your exact same seat, this was a very important slide to me. Because if you remember, I came right around the 2008, 2009, 2010 era. You guys remember what was happening to a lot of companies at that point in time? A lot of companies were actually trending in the complete opposite direction. So you're seeing a lot of companies, doing layoffs, closing up their doors, looking for government bailouts. So it was very important to me seeing that there was a company that was trending in a positive direction. And this has a lot to do with us moving into international markets and always continuing to grow as a company. So whenever I was hired on, there was less than 3,000 employees with American Income, and now we're over 7,500 employees currently and growing every single day. Now, as you can see, 2016, we did $210 million in production. We are on track this year to do 250, being $250 million in production, breaking every record that the company has ever set out for us. Continue. Now, these are our 7 C's of compatibility for everyone that we're looking at joining our team. Now, these are very important, and everyone that we're looking at bringing on, of course, has to have every single one of these. We are selective with our hiring process, like I said, and we're looking for the right people that are going to take us to the next level. So first is going to be character. Got to have character. It's the foundation of all of the other C's. Now, what type of character does an individual possess in themselves? Do they represent to others? Like I said, we are in charge of protecting working class families, so an individual's character is extremely important. Next is going to be competence. Of course, we need to be very competent in ourselves, our ability to get the job done, get it done effectively and efficiently. Now, whenever we're out in front of the families that we protect, all of these C's are very important. Now, if you had someone come to your house and visit with you and was discussing, a plan that's going to protect your family's financial future, you definitely want to make sure that person's very confident and very competent and very committed to their job. Continue going. Chemistry. Okay, what type of chemistry is an individual going to bring to our team and our office? Now, we are very competitive in this office and throughout this agency, so we need to make sure that everyone's going to fit in with our culture. And the way that I call it is our family. We don't look at this as just an office full of individuals that work 9 to 5. No, we spend a lot of time together, we work together, and we're always looking to make sure that everyone around us is challenging themselves to be the absolute best that they can be. So chemistry is very important, making sure that they fit with our culture. Next, of course, confidence. Everyone needs to be very confident in themselves, confident in the person that God made them, their ability to get the job done, get it done well. Next, commitment. Now, this is very important to me because, this isn't a startup company. This isn't a company that just, popped up overnight. The company's been around since 1951, and we ended the last 2 years the number one in our category. So what this means is it's not about reinventing the wheel. It's about committing to proven systems and procedures, implementing them properly because they work. And we've shown year after year that our systems and our procedures work. Next, competitiveness. I don't know if anyone else in here has a sports background like I do, but I am very competitive, and we are competitive in this office. It's an absolute must. What we've tried to do is people generally don't like to work, so we've taken and tried to make it more or less a game and run this like a sports organization. We're always competing with our peers, competing with other offices, and making sure that we are doing and being the absolute best that we can. And next is going to be challenge. Of course, everyone needs to be very welcoming to accepting a challenge. We're always challenging, like I said, challenging ourselves, challenging others to be the absolute best that we can. And right now, as an agency, our challenge is staying in the number one position, because as you know, when you're number one, everyone always has it out for you. So that's where we are. We have a big target on our backs right now. Continue going. Now, marketing. Now, has anyone ever been to, actually, let me back up just a little bit. Now, has anyone in here ever done any cold calling? Cold calling, right? A good majority. It's a lot of fun, right? Not to get a single laugh out of that one, okay? Now, has anyone done any door knocking? Door knocking, right? That's a lot of fun as well. Great way to get a tan, right? And has anyone ever been asked to join an organization or been part of an organization where you were told your first priority was to write down your 100 closest family and friends, and you were going to sell them something right off the bat? Yes, mine was Cutco knives, all right? I don't know if you guys are familiar, all right? Now, what happens in that situation? Generally, your family and friends, before you know it, they don't want to call you over for Thanksgiving dinner because they think you're going to try to sell them something, right? Well, very straightforward, open, honest, full disclosure. The cold calling, we do not operate like that. Also, door knocking, every single door in the neighborhood, no one will ask you to do that. And not only do we not operate with the family and friends, people in this office are not allowed to do the family and friends thing, okay? Now, we have a marketing team, and the marketing team takes care of the first part of the process for us. Now, I spoke with this young lady earlier, so I know that she's owned businesses before. Anyone else in here been a business owner? Right? So you essentially, upon many hats that you wear being a business owner, you have two main jobs and two main hats that you wear, right? So of course you need to do your marketing. You need to, whatever that looks like, you need to find the families or the businesses or the individuals that you're going to work with. And then second, you need to implement your sales, your procedures, or your services, right? Those are the two main hats that you're going to wear. Well, in this office, we look at it as the first job, the marketing, is 80% of the process. You know, some individuals have to do, you know, door to door, pass out flyers, you know, drive around town, billboards. We don't do any of that. The marketing team takes care of all of that for us. So every single individual within this office can focus on what's most important. And that's implementing our systems and essentially protecting the family's financial future of the individuals that we work with. So let me explain exactly how this works. So like I said, public relations puts you in the red zone. So you're already at the 20-yard line or inside the 20-yard line as the marketing team takes care of the first process for us. Now with this, like I said, we are the only 100% union-based insurance company in the United States. So the way that this works is we have a PR representative that meets with the associations or unions which we are affiliated with. As it says, there's a 3-step process. They sit down with the executive members and put on a full seminar showing them exactly how we're going to help their members and help every single individual associated. Now, once they analyze what we have to offer and see the value, we move on to the next step where we send out a letter to all of their members. Now, if you guys are anything like me, you get your mail in 2 different piles, right? You have the priority pile, we're just past the first of the month, right? That's where a lot of bills and stuff like that are, right? And then you have the junk mail, okay? Well, seeing as we are sending a letter from their union, generally it's going to end up in the priority pile. And once they open this up, it's going to state, if you're interested in no-cost benefits to protect your family provided to you from your union and more information about what we have to offer you, here's a card inside. We need you to fill out that card and mail it in. Now, if someone's interested in what we have to offer, that's essentially what they do. They mail in that card. If someone's not interested, what do? Tear up the card, throw it in the trash. And what I'm getting at is we only speak with individuals who are interested in what we have to offer. Every single individual that we speak with through our marketing department has filled out paperwork and requested to be seen by someone from this office, okay? And then it says at the bottom, after we collect all the individuals that want to be seen from our agents, we put them in a certain area. It makes no sense to have people driving from Round Rock to Kyle to Lakeway. I don't know if you guys have made that drive recently, but it takes all day, okay? So that's the way that we operate with our marketing team. Now, we work with unions, credit unions, associations, and this, you know, what type of families do we work with? We protect firefighters, we protect policemen, we protect tradesmen, Texas state employees, credit unions throughout the entire country. There's over 22,000 labor unions, credit unions, and associations that see the value in our products and have partnered with us that we work with right now. Now this will be the card that's actually sent in the mail. Now if I'm, say, a tradesman, International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, now that would be the group name right here at the top. It's simply asking if they're interested in $5,000 of coverage for a family. And if an individual is interested, that is the card that's filled out and is sent to this office for us to reply. Now also, we work with the International Union of Police Associations, and this is our Child Safe Kits. Now, I don't know if anyone has seen these Child Safe Kits that they pass out to families, but essentially this is all the vital information that the police need to activate the AMBER program and help save the life of any lost children. God bless you. Yes, so we've partnered with the International Union of Police Associations, and we are the only company that is authorized to run this program. We pass it out to all the families at no cost to help protect their children, and they also have the opportunity to enroll in the same benefits that families like policemen and firefighters have had the opportunity to enroll in for years. Now, I don't know if anyone, well, let me just backtrack a little bit. It's not really anything that anyone really wants to think about too often, but we know every single time that we turn on the news, we hear about children running away from home, children abduction, human trafficking, right? Now, this is a great program that's been helping families throughout the entire United States, and it's really alarming to know that Houston is the #1 city in the entire United States for all of the above. So this has been a fantastic program for us, the Police Association, and also families with children, which we've been protecting. Next, customer service and program maintenance. Now, we work with our existing policy holders, and we do visits with them every 2 to 3 years. Now, we have millions of policy holders throughout the entire United States, and this can work basically in 2 ways. One, every single day we have policy holders which call our office and say, hey, you know what? I want to be seen by an individual to go over my insurance. I want to make some changes. Maybe they had a child or they recently got married. We get those calls coming in every single day. Also, we give them a call to see if they would like to do any type of revisions or make sure that they have a good understanding of their coverage. We do see our existing policy holders, like I said, every 2 to 3 years. Then, we work from referrals from the presentations that we see and from the families that we visit. Now, if an individual is a member of a union, they have the opportunity to extend the same benefits to up to 10 families, whether they're a member of the union or they're a member of an association or not. So we do focus strongly on the referrals from the families that we protect. Like I said, we pride ourselves on being the company that protects the working class families here in the United States. Continue going. Now, we do operate on a laptop presentation. It's 2018. Not only do we want to eliminate all paperwork, but we want to make sure that we're doing the absolute best job that we can. This is a great benefit, and I'll tell you proudly, whenever I started in New Mexico, there was no laptop presentation. What there was, a 13.5-page presentation that I had to memorize word for word. You're looking at the presentation right now, okay? Now that there's a laptop presentation, I do make a joke out of it. My joke is, as long as you can do this, all right, finger, play, you're good. Because the laptop literally does all of it for you. It's also cut down our presentation time from, sometimes like 2 hours whenever I first started, to right now it's around 45 minutes. And this is great because, like it says, it's easy to learn, use, teach. Clients love it, and it's increased the production of our company year after year. It also is phenomenal because it removes the possibility of human error. The laptop's going to be perfect every single time. Now we're going to talk about the laptop presentation and how it works. Now this would be the first screen that pops up, and very simply it's just asking, what type of family are we sitting down with right now? Is that a union family, somebody interested in the child safe kits? Whatever you select, it would be directed right at that family, talking about the child safe kits and how to protect their children. Or talking about their labor union and how we have partnerships with unions throughout the entire United States, and we protect millions of working class families. Now this piece of paper right here, we review with every single family, and this is the list of concerns for families. Now we'll walk through this with you right now and show you exactly how a presentation goes in every single home. So first, the laptop is going to educate families on how insurance works so that they have a really good understanding and they can make an educated decision on how to protect their family. Then we bring out this piece of paper right here, and from there, excuse me, sir? Yeah, are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. All right, so from there, we talk about the serious concerns, okay? The serious concerns, the first one's gonna be funeral and final expense. Now, average funeral cost right now in the United States is $14,000 to $15,000. With inflation put in place, 20 years from now, a funeral will cost over $30,000. Now, it's a lot of money. So that's the first very serious concern. Next is going to be paycheck loss. Now, if something happens to me, my wife would lose her husband, my children lose their father. Let me ask you guys, what would happen in about 2 weeks? We all know the bills don't stop rolling in, do they? If I'm not working, I'm not making money. If I'm not around, my family's not making money. So we're going to look at how to cover the loss of a paycheck if a breadwinner is no longer around to provide for a family. Also, mortgage. Now, if something happens to me, would I want my wife and kids losing the house that I worked so hard to provide for them? Absolutely not. Serious concern. Children's protection is very simple. One, there's a policy that's provided to children that they can keep throughout their entire lifetime, which is a great benefit. Also, it's going to protect children if the breadwinner is no longer around. The company looks at allocating money to protect children's college education to make sure that they can go to college if they lose a parent, lose the mother, or lose a father. Next, co-pays, deductibles, lost wages. This is very simple. You know, blue-collar workers are often going to work with their hands. You know, hard-working, the working-class families here in the United States. So this is an accident plan put forth so that if anyone is ever injured in an accident, either on or off the job, the company is going to pay money to make sure that the family can still keep the lights on and making sure that the family can still keep food on the table. And I'll explain more about that in just 1 second. Now, losses in pension and retirement accounts. Now, this is, you know, I often use myself as an example. If something happens to me in my working years, you can see how that would be detrimental for my family's financial future if our pension and retirement is not fully set up to protect the family. So we're going to go ahead and look at that as well. And then terminal illness. Terminal illness, these statistics are very scary. The American Cancer Society came out with saying that males, 1 in 2 males will be diagnosed or die from cancer within their lifetime. For females, it's 1 in 3. And also cancer is the #1 reason that families are filing for bankruptcy right now in the United States. So we're going to look at that. We're going to look at that protection and then also affordability. Now, the computer and the way that all of this is set up is to make sure that everything is easily affordable for families. Now, if I have great benefits to protect my family, but it's taking food off the table for my children, that's going to be more of a burden than a benefit. So all of this is going to it's going to be put in a way that it's easily affordable for every single family, okay? Now, the needs analysis, this very simply takes in all the information from the family, husband, wife, 2 kids. Then it's going to ask all of the really important questions. First, what is the monthly take home? That's going to make sure that everything's easily affordable. Then it's going to ask, does this family have existing benefits to protect their family through their employer? Now those are called group benefits. You guys, anyone in this office know what happens to group benefits if you ever switch jobs or you ever retire? Those group benefits, you lose them, okay? People don't really understand that. Unless an individual sits down with someone like myself or from this office or an insurance agent, people don't really have a good understanding of that. And it's very hard for families when they think that they can hold on to those group benefits for their entire lifetime, and then they get 6, 65, 70, and realize that those are being taken from them. So we're going to look at the group benefits that the family might have. Then we're going to look at, do they have any existing permanent insurance outside of work? Also, is there a mortgage on the home that they currently live in? Have they saved money for their children's college education? And then last, there's going to be health questions. These health questions are here making sure that everyone can qualify for our plans, okay? Because this does go based upon age, health, and habits. Continue. Now, very straightforward, okay? We are in the interest and industry of protecting families' financial future, okay? With that said, we are in sales and we are looking for leaders. But in this office, do we operate like used car salesmen? Absolutely not, okay? We have relationships with unions like firefighters and policemen that we've had for years throughout the entire United States. No one in this office is going to be trained to be very forceful and basically beat someone into saying yes and accepting coverage for their family. It's not good business practice. It's not the way that we operate, okay? Not the way that we do business. This right here, I'm going to show you a representation of how we interact with every single family that we sit down with, okay? Just so you guys get a really good understanding. Now, I'll just use myself as an example. Now let's say I go into work this week and we're going to call my current job, Job A. Now with Job A, as you can see, I make $760 a week. Now with that, we of course said, if I have group benefits through my employer, but what you'll see to the left is going to be zeros. And what that is representing is I have no permanent and portable benefits to protect my family if I ever lost those group benefits. Now, my current job, Job A, $760 a week. Let's say that whenever I go into work on Monday, someone offers me another job. And we're going to call this job, Job B. Now with Job B, I'm working at the same place with the same people doing the same thing. The only difference is, with Job B, I'm going to make $741 a week. And on top of that, they're going to offer $15,000 of final expense insurance for me and my wife if anything ever was to happen on a permanent basis. Then we talked about paycheck loss. Right here, Job B is going to offer me $3,200 for 36 months to be given to my wife and children if anything ever was to happen to me, making sure that they are protected during the adjustments of ever losing me if that was to happen. Now, me and my wife work. We're a working class family. So they're also going to be looking at replacing her income as well if anything ever was to happen to her. Now, she has $2,300 of protection to be given to me and the kids if anything ever was to happen to her, heaven forbid. Then we talked about the mortgage that I owe on my home. It says right here the $125,000 that I owe. They're going to go ahead and pay that off for my wife and children, making sure that they don't lose our household. Children's college education, looking at allocating $100,000 to make sure that my children get the college education that they deserve if anything ever was to happen to me. They also have a $10,000 life insurance policy that they can not only keep for their entire lifetime, but they can increase as they get older. Then we did talk about that accident plan. Now there's 3 different levels. One being for going to the emergency room. Next, going to be every day in the hospital due to an accident. And third, it's going to be intensive care. But we'll just talk about being in the hospital. It says right here, $200 for every single day that I would be in the hospital due to any type of accident. That means if I'm injured in a car accident, 1 week there'd be $1,400 given to my wife, kids, and myself, making sure that the lights stay on at the home. Because if I'm not at work, I'm not making money. Next, there is retirement accounts. This right here says that depending on the year and type of accident and anything else that might happen, they're allocating up to $100,000 to protect my family's financial future and retirement accounts if I were to pass in my working years. Then we talked about terminal illness and cancer. Now my wife and myself, we both have this coverage, but I'll just talk about myself. It says right here $65,100 would be given to my household if I was ever diagnosed with a terminal illness or cancer, making sure that loss of work does not impact my family so strongly, making sure that we have money set aside for treatments, for transportation, and hopefully making sure that my family's not one of the ones that has to file for bankruptcy if I was ever diagnosed with such illness. Now let me ask you guys, if you go into work this week and you had the opportunity to choose between Job A or Job B, which job would you choose?
B.
Job B, right? It's pretty much a no-brainer. Why? Because what's most important?
Family.
Your family is what's most important. Having benefits to protect your family. If nothing else, just peace of mind, knowing that if something happened, your family's going to be protected and your family's going to be okay. I just thought of something, being very straightforward. I'm yet to be in this room and have anyone say Job A. Now that I thought about it. I think if they did, they would be judged by every single person in this room. So even if they were thinking it, that's why they didn't say it, okay? But guys, this is a direct representation of how we interact and we present to every single family that we sit down with, okay? It's important for me to be very straightforward that this is not a high pressure sales career. You know, when I was in used car sales, they used to teach me every single strategy that there is. You know, like the one where you make the wife mad at the husband so he feels like he has to buy, you know, or else he's in trouble. Not how we operate in this office. Now, this is very simple, okay? Now remember I said that families request to be seen from individuals from this office. We're not calling out of a phone book. We're not knocking on people's doors or walking in businesses. So people request to be seen from us, and then we review benefits just like I reviewed with you. Now, if 12 families were seen in 1 week, how many families do you think would say yes to job B, just like we did in this office? All of them, right? 12, at least 10, right? At least 10. 12, of course, is my favorite answer. I've had a couple people say, 15. Like, okay, you're not on the same level right here, but I really appreciate your enthusiasm, okay? Now, guys, I gotta be, again, open, honest, full disclosure. Whenever we make it affordable for families, and we sit down and we explain exactly how insurance works and why this is so important for families, we have a very, very, very strong enrollment percentage. The only times that there's any individuals that really, don't see eye to eye with this is people that maybe don't see how important this is. They're more worried about going to the lake over the weekend and buying a new car, right? Not my business, it's theirs. Also, there are families that have already taken these steps to protect their family's financial future. It is said that 70% of Americans have no benefits outside of their work. That means 70% of Americans need policies like this to be properly protected. So when we sit down with the 30%, well, we're licensed professionals in this industry, so we review their coverage, make sure that they have a good understanding of what they have. They like to, make any adjustments. Of course, we help them with that. We ask them for referrals. Then the third is, uninsurability. We all reach that point in our life where we no longer qualify for policies like these. And unfortunately, we do see individuals that for whatever reason, they do not qualify for these policies. Now, guys, compensation, okay? We've been talking about, the company and how we operate and everything else, but, we are going to talk about compensation and the way that that works. Now, with this, okay, being very straightforward, it says that average first-year income is over $54,000. That is average throughout all 50 states. Being very straightforward, we are above average in this office. We didn't get to be number one in our category 2016 and 2017 by being average. With us, first year is around $65,000 to $70,000. That is not in management, but we're very blessed. We're very hardworking, where we come from a very good pedigree of management. Okay, that's the foundation. Next, we're here in Texas, where people do very well in Texas. The economy is thriving in Texas, and also people do exceptionally well here in Austin, which translates back to us. But essentially, this comes down to skill set and work ethic, okay? Now, skill set is something that we can teach to everyone. What we cannot teach is work ethic. Now, what this means is if an individual really wants to make more, it comes down to that work ethic. Now, if we know that we're paid based upon how many individuals enroll into our programs and into our policies, what does this really look like? This means if an individual goes out, let's say they see 10 families in 1 week, we won't even start with 10, not even 6. 4 families enroll into our products in 1 week, there's over $1,600 to be made. Now, talking about work ethic, again, someone wants to make more money, what do? They work a little bit harder. Let's say 6 families enroll in our products, over $2,400 to be made each week. 8 is over $3,000 a week. Now, this was very appealing for me because the types of positions that people were offering whenever I was on my job search, where people were basically telling me what I was worth. That wasn't very appealing to me. I didn't want to go into work and have someone dictating, saying, you're going to work 40 hours, this is what you're worth, anything else. No. I wanted to come somewhere where I had a very bright future and somewhere where essentially I could make a lot of money. Because open, honest, full disclosure, again, whenever I had everything stripped from me and I had no opportunity, the number one thing that was most important was being a good provider to my family. And if I had the opportunity to put forth more of my work ethic and make more money, that was very, very, very appealing. Continue going. Now, the number one reason people choose a career in the insurance industry, like it says, is due to residual income. Individuals in here familiar with residual or passive income? Okay. Now, what do you think about it? Yeah, right? What's that?
Why wouldn't you want it?
Right. Some people call it, mailbox money and things like that. I have a young lady that I hired a couple of weeks ago. She said, Cody, that's going to be my Jesus check. I said, I've never heard it before, but I love it. Love the enthusiasm. Okay? Now, with this, in this position, you have the opportunity to not only work hard and serve families. Okay? That's what we do. If you really don't like people and don't like families, don't like working with people, then this isn't the right position for you. Okay? Nothing personal. We appreciate you coming here today, and we wish you the absolute best, with your career search. Some people just like working in an office, and it's nothing personal. We just work with people, okay? Now with this, we protect families' financial future. And it says agents are paid each month from policies that they've sold in the past. So whenever you sit down with the family, you're discussing how they protect their financial future. It's very rewarding at the end of the day. Whenever you leave a house and people are hugging you for thanking them for coming by, and they feel secure when you leave, that's very rewarding. You really have to like and love people, right, to see them every day. But it is rewarding. But it is exceptionally rewarding to know that as long as that policy is still protecting their family, it's still paying you. As long as the policy is on the book. So what does this look like in my situation? I no longer live in the state of New Mexico, okay? I've been in leadership the entire time I've been with the organization. Now with this, every single policy that I've ever provided to protect a family continues to pay me in my current state. Also, we'll talk about it more in a second, but every single policy that anyone that I've trained has ever provided to protect a family also continues to pay me in my current state. Now, do you guys ever get paid from anything that you've done in the past? Sometimes, but generally not, right? It's always about, what are you going to do for me right now? That's how everyone usually looks at it. It's good to know that residual income is earned each month before any new sales are ever even made. And we do have a vesting program. What this looks like is every single year that you're with the company, you're vested an additional 10%. 3 years, 30, 4 years, 40, 5 years, you get the picture. After 10 years, you are 100% vested. You have the opportunity to retire, walk away, and keep 100% of your accounts to pay you for your entire life. I know handfuls of individuals that after 13 years are making such large residual income that they no longer have to be in the office. They're basically part-time. Because we learned that people in sales work for 3 things. 1, recognition. 2, money. 3, time off. Let's face it, a lot of people are time off kind of people, right? Also, people thrive on recognition and money, okay? Now, your renewals are transferable to your family and your estate. That's very important, right? Something happens to me. What happens to those accounts that I've worked so hard to build up? Well, I'm looking at it like I'm changing generations of my family, because something happens to me, my wife's still around, it pays my wife. Something happens to me and my wife, pays our children, pays next of kin. So this means my children, these accounts will continue to pay them for their entire life. Continue. Now, like I said, we do have multiple positions which are available. We won't be hiring every single person in here, unfortunately, but we need people with a strong passion for helping people. Whether that's an agent protecting families, or whether that's a management trainee looking to help us build and take us to the next level. You have to really like people, okay? Next, we need people that are coachable. Now, what does this look like? We've been around since 1951. We're going on almost 70 years. Our systems, procedures are proven. So we need people that are always going to be coachable. Me, I'm on coaching calls every single week. Every single person's always growing, right? we're not our finished product. Absolutely not. The people that think they are the finished product are the people that are actually slowing down and not growing, okay? Also, people with a high integrity, people with a very strong work ethic can hold themselves very high with a very high self-worth, all right? I imagine, like I said earlier, if someone came to your house and was talking about, very, very important protection for your family, you'd want to make sure they had high integrity. You'd want to make sure that they were very confident in themselves and they were committed. You would make sure that they had very, very, very high self-worth. We deal with millions of dollars of life insurance every single week. We deal with very important situations in people's lives. Now, right now I'm going to review the levels of management. The first level of management is going to be supervising agent, okay? Once you come into this role, there's a 5% increase in your weekly pay. There's a 33% training match, okay? That's a training match for being a mentor, being a coach, and helping to make sure that someone's successful. Now, who in here has trained someone in the past at their previous employer? How many people got paid for it? Not too many, right? It's usually like, hey, keep on doing what you're doing a great job, right? Just I'll buy you lunch next week, something like that. I feel if you're gonna help make the company money, you deserve to make money as well, okay? Now what this looks like, what's your name, sir?
Lewis.
Lewis Cody, nice to meet you, okay? So what this looks like is, let's just say, Lewis is my supervising agent and I just come into the agency. Now, since he is the supervising agent, he gets rewarded for his hard work of making sure that I'm successful, okay? So it's a 5% increase in his weekly pay, but the 33% training match, what that means is 33% of my paycheck is given directly to him every single week. Now, it's not taken out of my paycheck, because that wouldn't be fair. I wouldn't like you very much, right? But it's actually matched and it's given to you. So that means I make $1,000 this week. He gets $330 for helping to make sure that I'm successful. Let's say that I go out and I make $2,000 this week. You'd want me to make $2,000, wouldn't you, right? Because he's looking at $660. Now, let me ask you, sir, if you were my supervising agent and I came into the agency, how well are you going to train me?
The best I can.
The best, right? You're going to give me the best, because you have the opportunity to make money off of all of my hard work and my success. That's the way that we think in here. We take our training extremely serious, okay? Now, there's also increase in renewals. All of my hard work would not only build my renewal accounts, but because he's trained me, they're going to build his renewal accounts as well. Next, general agent. Now, general agent, at this point, there's a 15% increase in weekly pay. You basically have all the same duties as a supervising agent, but you've elevated your game and you have more responsibilities in this position. So 15% increase in weekly pay. That 33% training match now grows to 47. What do you think about 47% of my paycheck?
Pretty good.
All right? Renewal accounts are going to continue to build. This is a very great position, okay? Very, very strong position. I can still remember getting my general agent promotion. Then managing general agent, okay? Very straightforward. This is a six-figure position. This is a strong six-figure position. These are the individuals that incorporate all of our 7 C's. These are the elite, the Michael Jordans. These are the Kobe Bryants. These are the individuals that wake up every morning wanting to change lives and make an impact on people's lives. This has a 30% increase in weekly pay. The training match now grows to a 68%. MGA bonuses, there's something to be proud of. Residual accounts continue to build, okay? Now, with this, our bonuses, what does this really look like? That 33% that we were talking about, the 47%, the 68%, what does that really look like? Those are our bonuses provided to our leadership team. And at the supervising agent level, you have individuals in here getting bonuses on Monday of very, very high amounts. A quick little joke here is we used to pass out bonus checks. People used to get them on Fridays. Now we do them on Mondays. No one calls in sick on Monday. Everyone's here, okay? We have supervising agents making, 8, $1,000, $1,200, $1,500, $1,600 weekly just off of the bonuses. The large bonuses in this office are $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. That's in between Houston and Austin. Now, what do the elite of the MGAs make? Now, like I said, this is a 6-figure position, but this is a position that you have the opportunity to make $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 a year. A lot of individuals, which I know on a personal basis, are making $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 a year and have a residual income at over $10,000, $20,000 every single month. Now, with all of this, talking about good compensation, talking about bonuses, talking about a rewarding position, of course, it's challenging. And what are we looking for? We're looking for individuals that are okay with that challenge. We're looking for people, like I said, that are looking to work hard, provide a great future for their family. One of my favorite things, not to sound too cocky here, we like to be confident in this office, but not cocky. Okay? Just confident. One of my favorite things I've heard is, individual wanting to work hard to change his neighbors. Wanting to work hard to put his children in the best school district possible, to give his children the best head start they possibly can. Now, I don't know about you, but if I were to walk past 100 people and only 6 of them were earning $100,000 or over, I don't like those figures very much. Not at all. We're looking for people that want to be part of that 6. People that want to be part of, 3, the top 2% of that. And people that want to change lives. Leadership, you're going to change the lives of the people that come in here and you help them to be successful. If you're just an agent, you're going to change the lives of the families that you sit down with, and you're going to give them peace of mind that if anything ever was to happen, their family is going to be protected. Their family is going to be okay. Now with this, okay, of course there are challenges, all right? Now the first is going to be, we do work in a regular schedule, okay? What does this look like? We work whenever individuals are home. And even though individuals set their own schedules, you can plan on days starting around 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and generally we'll work for around 6 hours. We know this is not for everyone, nothing personal, okay? It's just when we work. Even though I'm up at 5:30 in the morning, I know that aside from my management responsibilities, I know what time my day starts. Might not work for every single person, okay? Now, there is a license and a background check. Okay, we are licensed professionals in the insurance industry, so it is required. Just the same as you have to have a real estate license in order to be in real estate, all right? With this, the cost is $200. There are online courses which are provided, prep every single individual to go take the state exam. We have a 90% pass ratio using these courses. After you pass the state exam, you do have to do your fingerprints and background, which is done by DPS. We are more regulated than a bank, okay? Like I said, we deal with millions of dollars of life insurance, people's bank accounts, people's social security numbers. They take our industry very serious, okay? So once you get all of that done, you acquire your license. We do put a time frame on this. Once an individual is brought on, they have a week to get through the process to get their license, because we're not interested in wasting people's time. We ask individuals not to waste ours either, okay? If we do extend the position, are expected to meet right on these guidelines. Now, I can't help with the background, any type of really bad felonies or anything else. Texas Department of Insurance and the company will not do an approval. Okay, it's not my business. I'm just saying I cannot help. The cost of the license is on the individual, not on us, because it is your license to keep for your entire lifetime. Also, 90-day boot camp. Like I said, we take our training extremely serious. And just to walk you through how everything works, this does not mean an individual is not going to be making money for 90 days. Absolutely not. This means we're going to pour time and attention into people for 90 days to make sure that they are successful. And not to be greedy or anything else, but all of my supervising agents out there, they're going to be taking their time to make sure that their people are successful and they're making money, okay? So, the process is, whenever an individual is in the licensing process, we have a director of onboarding, which helps them get through the process to get their license. Once they acquire their license, they are doing field training here with a corporate field trainer. We have an individual that's been doing this for 15 years. In-house training is done by the best. After that, they go out in the field with our elite field training team. They are trained in the home by someone that's been doing this for a very long time to get very hands-on training. After that, we continue with coaching, mentoring, workshops, pouring in our individuals to make sure that they are successful, okay? We wouldn't grow as a company if no one wanted to be here. We want to promote a very positive, competitive, uplifting culture in this office, somewhere where people want to come to work, but people are properly trained and they're making money. That's our goal here. Last challenge is going to be you, okay? What is your attitude on what we presented right here? You know, you're looking to put forth the effort, the work ethic, put forth what it takes to not only make an impact on your family, but make an impact on the families that you come in touch with. You know, if there's an individual in here that just really enjoys, you know, training and working with people, then it sounds like management would be a perfect position for them, because that's exactly what we do. If we have individuals right now that say, you know what, I'm just looking for something where I can help impact families and help families, that's what I'm really passionate about. And it sounds like the agent would be a better position. But the challenge is, you know, really, you know, you. What's really most important for you in this position? Now, what's going to happen is based upon the answers that you put down on the profile and the paperwork that you have in front of you, the leadership team is going to evaluate who to call back for a final interview, okay? Now, if you are called back for a final interview, that call will come today in between 2 and 6 o'clock. If you are called back, you'll be asked to come in here for a one-on-one final interview, okay? It'll be discussing the entire process and making sure that this is a good partnership. We look at this as a partnership, not just a job. Like I said, it's about making sure that we're compatible. People may, you know, love our company, but they just don't like it. It's such a high energy company, it's nothing personal, okay? It's just how we operate. So, you will be called back for a final interview if you are selected. Once you are done filling out the paperwork that you have in front of you, please give it to Philippa at the front desk. She also has paperwork which she will give to you, and that's reviewing everything that we just went over today. Literally every single slide will be on the paperwork that she gives to you, okay? Also, if you guys have any questions, all right, and would like to speak with myself or a member of the management team before you leave, feel free to go ahead and ask Philippa. We're happy to answer any questions after you guys are finished filling everything out. You know, even though we were a little short-handed today, and I do apologize if you guys had to wait a little bit. You know, whenever you came in, it was a little, you know, one-on-one. So if you guys have any questions, we'd like to answer them one-on-one on the way out, all right? Last, I just want to thank you guys very much for coming in today. It was great having you guys in the office, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you guys and show you what we have in store. So thank you guys very much. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you.